My mother always made me play hide and seek with her. It was just me and her. We'd always play at 9 o'clock. Every time without failure, she told me to ignore her during the game. She told me that she would purposefully try to trick me. But you know, if you really wanted to trick somebody, why tell them? We played in the park. I thought this was normal. I knew other families didn't do this, but at the same time, I thought there was nothing wrong with what we were doing. I liked the park after all. During the night, the air was so fresh, and it was silent, and the trees seemed larger than usual. She counted down from 100, giving me ample time to run away. My general competitiveness always made me run away, and as far as I could. I'd find some space behind many trees and I'd lie down. The park was large, but somehow my mother would always manage to walk past me at least 3 times in those 20 minutes. I'd always hear her speaking as she would walk past me. "Come out, Clara. Clara, please come out. I'm sick of this stupid game, Clara. It's cold. I just want to go home." I ignored her. When we first started with the games, I'd been foolish enough to leave my hiding spot. My mother's face immediately turned into one of fury. She'd walk up and grab me tightly by the shoulder as she scolded me relentlessly. "I told you not to listen to me, didn't I?" She would drag me back to the car and ignore me until the next day, when we played. I didn't know why she did that. After I'd stopped listening to her during the 20 minutes of game time, it would no longer trick me. I knew she was lying, and it simply seemed like a waste of breath and energy to keep calling out for me. She got angry when she found me. The park was a huge place, and if she hid somewhere, I would never find her, but somehow my mother was excellent at tracking me down. It was like she sniffed me and hunted me down. Instead of getting angry at me, she got disappointed. She'd sigh loudly and her eyes would tear up before she dejectedly just walk away and go to the car. That gave me the worst feeling ever. It made me feel inadequate. One time, she found me after only 2 minutes and she broke down sobbing. But I didn't get it. I felt a huge urge to win. I needed it. So I started to get creative. I hid myself in the bushes. I changed my clothing to be more green and black and generally more inconspicuous. I got high up in a tree so it would be difficult to see me from the ground. I learned how to stay still. Really, really still. And when I won, my mother would smile at me. It wasn't a smile of happiness or a smile of pleasure. It was more relieved. Like she was relieved that I didn't get found, but I felt so proud when I saw it. We'd go home and I'd have an easy time falling asleep. And then my father came. One day, when I came back from school, I saw him talking to my mother. He was almost never home, actually. I'd seen him twice in my entire life, and my mother never really spoke about him. He was really just a stranger to me. I noticed the expression on my mother's face immediately. It was pale, white, shaking, and her eyes were wide. I couldn't hear what he was saying, so I got closer and towards them. Of course, their conversation stopped just as I did it. Well, my father stopped speaking. The expression of my mother stayed the same. He turned to me and smiled in a wolfish way. It made me recoil away with disgust. He sneered. This dude really sneered. I thought it was normal because that's how my classmates acted. Later that same day, when my father was off in the toilet, my mother got close to me and whispered, "Don't come out." Not even after 20 minutes. My father got really energetic right before bedtime. I thought we'd skip the whole hide and seek thing. My mom looked really sick and looking at the clock, she said, "Let's take a trip to the park." I immediately noticed that she didn't mention hide and seek. But why? My father asked, "Why not? Let's go get some fresh air maybe." And he said, "Fine." And he also said, "I like them active anyway." What the hell did he mean by that? Mom told me to change with a certain look, and I caught what she meant immediately. Put on the hiding clothes. After doing it, we got into the car and we drove to the park. My mother was silent the entire way, but my father hummed. We walked together in the park for a while, my dad mumbling about work. I don't remember much of it. Honestly, it didn't sound like any job I'd ever heard. Then suddenly, my mother pointed at a tree in the distance. I noticed that it was the same tree that she found me hiding behind the last time she caught me. These trees got so old, and then they die. It's a shame that they're stuck in place, unable to get away from the virus, she was saying. What she was actually saying was get away and hide. Death is the way of all living things, my dad said. No need to fear it. I think I saw a squirrel in that tree, I said. I'm going to check it out. I disappeared into the forest. I'd grown well acquainted to this forest. I got behind a hill before changing direction and moving away. I made sure to try to move on to the spots that wouldn't leave a mark. I needed to get far away before they noticed something was up. I thought about climbing a tree and hiding there, or about diving into a couple of bushes. Trees were only effective if people didn't check. Bushes worked great, but you'd have a small, if no view of your surroundings. I chose the bushes, jumping into them and trying to control my breath. After a couple of minutes, I heard my parents walking in the distance. "Clara," my dad shouted. "Where are you, sweetheart? If you're hurt, please say something. We'll help. Clara." Mother said, "Clara, can you hear me, darling?" My heart was beating faster. I knew for a fact that I shouldn't leave the bushes. That was the absolute worst thing that could happen. I kept my breathing under check, and as they moved further and further away from me, then they came back. "Please, Kara. Your dad isn't dangerous. Please come out. Clara, please. I need to get going soon. Please come out," my mom said. "Clara, where are you? Stop this silly nonsense, Clara." Their voices eventually faded out. I'd stayed there in the same position for nearly a whole hour. My body started to ache and I could feel insects crawling around the back of my leg. I really wanted to leave this position. I heard a stick snap in the distance. It came from behind me. I hadn't heard their voices at all. Had they just stopped speaking? That terrified me, and I felt I needed to turn around and get a better view. But I knew that would give me away. "Clara, stop with this silly nonsense. Come out." I was entirely silent. "Clara, please come out." Her voice was turning more and more desperate, more guttural. Fortunately, it was what seemed to be around 70 meters from me, but she was approaching. "Clara," my mom said, "I'm getting tired. I just want to go home and eat and sleep." I stayed silent as the voice grew older. She was approaching me. "I know you're in the area. It's only a moment of time before I find you. I will skin you. I'll start with your forearms, peeling off your skin and using a dull knife, just like peeling back cheese. I'll wager there'll be lots of blood coming out and screaming. Oh, the screaming. I won't be able to focus, but that's all right. I can always switch to your other arm." She came closer. "You won't like that." "I certainly wouldn't, but I'm not as stupid and disgusting as you, Clara. No. I'm glad I'm not a creature of filth like you. The only good thing you can serve is being in my belly, fueling me. I'll find you, Clara." The voice was only 20 meters away. "You'll regret not coming out." 10 meters. "You know, I don't eat the bones. They get stuck in my throat, but I can't leave them. I'll probably take them home with me and suck on them. They have a good taste, you know. It'll be perfect." 2 meters. She giggled. Did she find me? Oh, no. I debated whether I should stay still and hope for the best or if I should look back. My fear was killing me and it had to know, but I know looking, I would make a noise. So no, I had to stay still. "I know where you are," she said. Man. But then she began walking away from the spot. "I'll suck on your eyeballs before swallowing them. They're better whole, and they're always wet and squishy, so they go down throat easily. If not, they're always blood. Oh, a mouth full of warm blood is there a better feeling?" I stayed still for the entire night, even after I was certain that they'd gone away. It was only when the sun was above me and I could hear other children that I stood up. One child jumped back and shrieked. He must have gotten properly terrified. And then I made my way back home. My father wasn't there, but my mom was. She hugged me. She told me how sorry she was and how she's sorry that I have the father that I had. And if it wasn't for him, none of that would happen. I still to this day really don't know what was going on.
When I was growing up, there was a girl in my neighbourhood who was very weird. All of the other kids were freaked out by her. One day, she told all of the kids that in the forest behind her house, there were dead, bloody people. When they heard this, the kids freaked out and told their parents. Their fathers had to go out and search the forest just in case. All they found was candy wrappers and empty beer bottles. After that, all of the kids in the neighbourhood refused to go near her, including me. A few years later, my parents divorced. On the day that the moving people came to take my mom's things out of the house, the girl came out of nowhere and told me that Matt didn't like that my parents were getting a divorce. I had no idea who Matt was. Even though I stopped being friends with her, my dad was still friends with her parents. My dad told me that Matt was her imaginary friend. Her parents had told him all about the problems that they were having. Matt was often too physical. They claimed that Matt could control the lights and could even make the power go out. They said Matt also knocked on doors at night. If he was ignored, the banging on the doors would start. A few years later, my dad decided that he would invite the girl and her parents over to our house. I begged my dad not to do this, but he said that it would be nice to catch up with them. When they came over that night, my dad told me to entertain the girl. I brought her up to my bedroom and she seemed to be acting normal. She even told me how nice my room was. However, I was still creeped out by her. She just sat down in the middle of the floor when I tried to put a movie on the DVD player. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the most deadpan voice, she said, "Matt's here." At that exact moment, the lights began to flicker on and off. I got so scared I ran out of my room, crying in fear. Her parents came running up the stairs, dragged their daughter out of my room and took her home. For weeks afterwards, I refused to sleep in my bedroom. I haven't heard much from that family ever since then. I heard that Matt still controlled the lights, but I don't know if he is still around. To this day, whenever the lights begin flickering or a bulb blows, it still freaks me out.
So first of all, I'd like to let you know that when I go over this story, it's going to sound like I'm telling it twice. It's just the second half I'm going into more detail. I'll tell you how this all even started. I have this habit like watching horror stuff, exorcism videos, paranormal tapes, all of that. That night around 12 a.m., I was eating dinner and watching the full documentary on Annalisa Michelle. I even listened to her tape recordings, and man, those recordings are so unforgettable and uncomfortable that they stay in your mind. After finishing all that, I went to sleep around 2:30 a.m., but at 3:30, I suddenly woke up. I heard some sound from my kitchen. Not a whisper, more like something fell off a shelf. So I went to go check. And when I entered the kitchen, I felt this weird pressure like someone just put their hand on my shoulder. When I turned back, no one was there. I got so freaking scared I literally ran back to my room and tried to sleep. But again, I woke up about half an hour later. This time, not from any noise. It was just random. When I opened my eyes, I swear I saw two faces right in front of mine. Not far, literally right there. It felt like those faces came close and they pushed me up. My whole body froze. I can't explain how scary that second one was. My mind immediately remembered that exorcism voice like it was waking me up again. I tried to distract myself. I picked up my phone and I watched random stuff to calm me down. I listened to my favorite songs for 10 minutes, even turned on the light to force myself to sleep again. But it didn't end there. When I finally went to sleep, suddenly my dog started vomiting. He was sleeping peacefully earlier, no issues. I cleaned everything, but again, he stood up and started barking at nothing. After that, I tried to sleep again with the lights on. Somehow I fell asleep, and this time, that's how the night ended. But listen, that night was something else, and I don't even know how I controlled myself. The only thing running through my head was, this is just my mind, this isn't real. But seriously, I'll go into more detail. First, I was trying to sleep and suddenly heard something fall in the kitchen. Not like a small sound, but something was inside the shelves, and I thought maybe my cat came inside or something, but when I checked, there was nothing inside. It was silent. But I swear, at that time, I felt pressure on my shoulder like someone kept their hand on me for a second. At that moment, my whole body froze. I went straight to my room and I wasn't taking any chances. I tried to sleep, but at that moment I closed my eyes. Boom. I woke up and I saw the two faces right in front of me. Not normal faces. They were dark, weird, close to my face like they pushed me upward. My heart was beating like crazy. That exorcism voice I listened to earlier, it was stuck in my head repeating again and again. I instantly grabbed my phone, turned the flashlight on just to kill the darkness. I started watching videos, listening to songs, anything to distract myself. But that voice, that feeling, it was stuck in my mind. When I finally calmed a bit and tried to sleep again, my dog suddenly started vomiting. So I had to get up, and I cleaned everything. Then he started barking on and off like he sensed something. That was actually the scariest part. My dog never does that at night. After that, I tried to sleep again, and then I heard something. A whisper. A sound from the kitchen again. Not clear, but enough to shake me. That entire night felt like something was happening around me. All after listening to that exorcism audio. Sometimes I actually wonder, did I accidentally invite something? Or was my mind just messing with me? I don't know, man. But that night was hell.
Nightmare Files.